The rig, when Sigrid and Grandma get there, they discover that it is completely covered in gloom. It's really a sight to behold. The entire area is just plunged into darkness, and there's huge towers and smoke chimneys poking out of the water that still reach beyond where even the water goes. Just really intimidating setting in general. Um, the mayor is going to be on the very top of one of these towers, and we have to go and rescue him and see what his deal is. It's really interesting to see this drilling rig, which is where they mine the material that they get the sparks from, is in such darkness. This is what made Stranville such a bustling metropolis back in the day. It's what allowed it to be what it was. And now it's desolate. The whole drilling rig is called the Dandelion, which I think is kind of fitting considering it's what brought life to Stranville. When we find the mayor, we discover that he was actually trying to start the drills up again, which is absolutely insane. He wants to return Stranville to its former glory, but he doesn't have any experience operating these drills. He doesn't know the mechanics behind it. He doesn't know, he doesn't have the mechanical know-how to operate these drills. And so Doris completely just shuts him down, is like, why are you trying to do that? You don't even have any people, you don't have any experience. It's dangerous to operate this when you don't have the mechanical know-how. Which is really potent coming from her. She was actually one of the lead engineers who designed the Dandelion back in the day. So I think she knows what she's talking about when it comes to this. But yeah, he gets a talking to. But even though he has no experience and doesn't know how to operate the drills, he latched onto them as the thing that made Stranville great. And so he got this idea in his head, oh, if I just turn the drills back on, if I get those operating again, then maybe Stranville will be great again. If I'm being honest right here, I do not like the mayor. I don't like him. He has an attitude, and he has this air about him and the way that he carries himself, that he thinks that he's better than everyone else. He thinks he knows better. He didn't ask anybody operating the drills. He didn't even ask Doris, even though she was an engineer on the team who designed it. He just went ahead and started doing this on his own. Why? Why? I don't know. Listen, I do not have any proof that says that he thinks he's better than everyone else, but I think he thinks it. I think he thinks it. I do not like this man. Also, the way that he talks about Stranville as it's like a concept, as it's something that needs to be fixed, as it's not a town that exists right now that has people in it, that has people who are living lives. They're living in this town still, but he doesn't care about Stranville as it is today. He only cares about how it used to be. It just completely rubs me the wrong way. But I mean, I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to try and think intersectionally into what made the mayor who he is. Back at the town plaza, we actually met the mayor's mother, and overall, the family, it seems like they came from riches. Pretty much all we know about the mayor is that he comes from a powerful background and he is in a position of power now. And that's it. And he's just trying to do what's best, what he thinks is best for Stranville. Generally, still not a fan. We'll see how that plays out. The way that the mayor discusses Stranville, the way that he talks about the drilling rig and everything, about the Dandelion, it really reminds me of America, which is crazy. I know. I'm sorry, America. I know. It reminds me of oil rigs in America, particularly about how people idolize the oil industry. Even I find my dad watching shows about drilling for oil. I hear on the news and on the radio people talking about oil. It's a big part of the American culture even. But it's also not great. We like years and years ago, there was the oil boom in like the early 1900s, where people were trying to flock out west, trying to drill for oil and see what they could find. And this is around the time of the Industrial Revolution as well, because the oil helped fuel the Industrial Revolution, and that the Industrial Revolution is such a huge part of American history. It's like what made America such a powerhouse back in the day. Those two things are strongly associated. And even nowadays in the like current political movement with MAGA and Donald Trump, he's always pushing like make America great again. It reminds me of the mayor saying that he's trying to make Strandville great again. And the push for going back to the way that things were, returning to, you know, it's not just make America great, it's just make it great again, like it was before. Let's start drilling for oil more. Let's reduce the safety regulations that we have. Let's just go for it and do what we used to do in the day, because that's what made us great. It's not, let's do things safer, let's do things better, let's find something that we can build that will make it great. I just find that interesting. Once again, another point against the mayor. Anyway, so we saved the mayor, and he starts telling us about what he was doing up there. He recounts that as he was trying to turn on the drills, he actually spotted the Dirty Paws airship flying over, and then that's when the gloom came in. So there's a little bit of speculation there. He says that he thinks that the paws are what control the gloom, and that as they're flying by, they are manipulating it, making it grow faster, making it spread, as a way to fight back against Strandville for what happened back in the day. The Dirty Paws constantly popping back up again, as well as the increase in the gloom, is really raising a lot of bells. It's ringing a lot of bells and putting a lot of people on edge. Something is clearly happening, and there needs to be action taken to prevent that. So the mayor, the smart man that he is, has picked up on the idea that something is not right and something needs to be done. So he has already started developing plans to build a weapon that will knock the Dirty Paws out of the sky and eliminate them for good. However, as I mentioned before, he's not very mechanically oriented, so he has some blueprints, but he wants Doris to help him build them because she's the one who has the engineering experience. She's the one who would know how to actually make this better. So even though Doris is not super fond of the mayor, doesn't think he's super great, she agrees to help him out because they both have this shared hatred of the Dirty Paws, and that is uniting them to work together to fight against this front. All right, obviously, wherever Doris goes, Sigurd's going to follow. Quite the helper she is. That's not a diss. She's great. I love her. But as they're discussing their plans, making adjustments to the blueprints and everything, the ground underneath them starts to rumble and everything begins to shake. And then all of a sudden, a monster of biblical proportions shoots out of the ground. It's a terrifying sight. It's pitch black. It looks like it's some sort of industrial creature.
What on earth?
It has a face that sort of reminds me of a gas mask and a seahorse. Has like this elongated nostril, with some like earpieces jutting out about it as well. It has glass lenses for eyes, and it shoots smoke out of its openings. Some sort of fucked up, weird amalgamation of a snake, a seahorse, an eel, a gas mask, all put into a behemoth of an industrial being. There. The plans for the weapon are gonna have to wait. We need to deal with this right now. This is urgent. So the monster seems to be attracted to the smog being produced by the smoke chimneys once the dandelion was turned on. So it's figured that if we shut down the dandelion, the creature will go away or leave or something. But the override for the whole thing is jammed, and so we need to go find the manual overrides on the top of all the chimneys and shut it down. Just as we're able to shut down all the chimneys and get the Dandelion to stop running again, the Dirty Paws appear once again in their airship. They just fly right by. However, this time we can see that they're spewing some kind of green gas out the side of their ship. They just fly right on by, and as they pass, the monster also resubmerges itself into the water and disappears. It can only be presumed that they're the ones who are controlling the gloom and that they're also controlling this monster. All of a sudden, the weapon has become much more of an urgent task. If they are controlling this behemoth, something is about to go down and we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared. So the mayor, Doris, and Sigrid go to get on that immediately. Immediately.